must be a communication not only to pray for them, but to beg for prayers, every great undertaking that you do. And I hope that this gathering in here that we have had for the last 3 days will not be a gathering which we begin with words and end with words. I hope that what we have been saying and will become some use to the friends. And I hope that the suggestion that I made to forget all the things that I have said and to remember those points, by which time maybe you have forgotten all those points by now, we should really try to think about it and to give 1 or 2 hours a day, every person, no matter who we are, to Baha'u'llah for teaching the faith personally, on a personal level. If we do that on a universal scale, and religiously give 1 or 2 hours a day in a form and discipline ourselves, and also read the writings in the morning and in the evening, in the same way that I told you the story of this Irish girl in Paris, of how she would do it. This way we can then bring great victories to the cause of God. And then really we must thank Baha'u'llah. I think we can't do anything else but to thank him all the time, that he has brought us together in a unity and love. And this love and this unity that we feel in our hearts is not because of ourselves. It's not because of us that we love each other. We are very insignificant otherwise if we divorce the faith from ourselves. Very insignificant. All that is there, and this beautiful spirit that is generated when we meet together, is because of the love of Baha'u'llah, because of his spirit which comes through us. I hope that I am in a way looking forward to meeting the friends again in other parts of this country, a beautiful country, and I'm hoping more and more to meet more of the indigenous people. I feel we have a duty, a responsibility ourselves to attract them to ourselves, to bring them together, to become as one people. And not until this is a challenge, I think, to the Baha'i community here. Not until the believers here, the Baha'is who are here, can, in their heart of hearts, unite themselves with the indigenous people of the Baha'is and really bring them together, be together, and work together, can the faith grow. I remember some years ago we had, I'm not saying that these things happen in here because I don't know anything about it really, but I know some years ago we had what they call it a breakthrough in Scotland, bringing a good number of people. There again I mentioned there is a class distinction, very, very clear class distinction in England. In here you have race distinction, race class, races. Over there it is the prejudice of class. And I remember one particular group of people came into the faith who were belonging to the working class. And then we had the middle-aged Baha'i, middle class people who were Baha'is previous to that. They never were united. It was a lip service unity, which both sides felt, or at least the others felt. And then the whole thing was disintegrated. The whole thing collapsed. The faith did not go forward. And I think not until this unity is real, that we love to embrace them and involve them in our works, in all the spheres of our activities, can a multiracial community such as this grow. And maybe I shouldn't say this because I'm not familiar at all with what you do, and I know how much your NSA and your institutions are really devoted to the cause and how much they're working. And we must also pray for our institutions. We must pray for the National Assembly. We must rally around that institution. We must rally around that institution. And with our hearts pray for them. I mentioned yesterday how the institutions are weak today. They are going through the stages of infancy. We must not look upon what decisions they make. They could make all kinds of decisions. They could make a lot of wrong decisions. We are not concerned with that. But this is an institution of Baha'u'llah. It is now in the stage of infancy. It has the life, it has the spirit, and it has the promise of the future, that in the future the institutions will become so capable of not making mistakes. We must not look into these things, but rather to rally around the institutions of the faith and cherish them and love them, and then the things will grow. I have to say farewell to you now, people who are in this part, and really I cannot describe the joy and the spiritual upliftment which had been with me during these 3 days that I have visited you. And I shall never forget this beautiful faces and beautiful spiritual atmosphere which has been created here. And I thank Baha'u'llah for having given us this great privilege of being together today in this way. My love really has no bounds for all of you. And I want to say a prayer in Persian for the friends and for this country. I'll say a prayer. And this prayer I'll say for the pioneers and the workers of the faith. Prayer of Amatu'l-Bahá. It's one of the prayers of the tablets of the Divine Plan. والله ای خداوند بی همتا، ای خداوند بی همتا، ای رب الملکوت، این نفوس سپاه آسمانی تو امداد فرما و به جنود ملأ اعلی نصرت کن تا هر یک نظیر اردویی شوند و آن ممالک را به محبت الله و نورانیت تعلیم الهی فتح کنند. ای خدا ظهیر و نصیر آنها باش و در صحرا و در بیابانها و صحراها و در کوهان و صحراها مونس آنها باش تا به قوت ملکوتی و نفسات روح القدس فریاد زنند. توی مقتدر و عزیز و توانا و توی دانا و شنوان و بینا.
On behalf of the National Spiritual Assembly of the Baha'is of Canada, I wish to welcome you all to this meeting, this very special occasion, this historic event. The devotions will be done by a group of our native believers. I'd now like to call upon them.
I'll just make a short prayer for on behalf of my Indian believers back home, Blood Indian, Blood Reserve, and the Pagan Reserve. I hope all the ones that couldn't make it. Would you like to all stand up? I'm just going to put a short. Hai is bemogelijk is dat ook. Hai genoeg weinig dat ze maar toch bijna existie koei. Hai am ik schijt op je toeik. Hai genoeg wat ze ik kan ze toch bijna. Hai ik genoeg ook moet waar getoe ze na ken ik moet ze koei. Hai nog ze waar kan na ja. Hai nog ook moet dat ze statoe ze na ken ik existie koei kai. Hai nog ook moet dat ze kan existie zijn. Hai niks kena tu tapi sekali kena kau kena ni kat semat puak. Hai kim mokin nana kim mat mokin nana. Hai ni kena kau tu kumu tua kah pinan. Hai spum mokin nana. Hai no cip stapi sekali kena kau kena siskak. Hai nak kita kio kaki ama kia kio aki. Hai ni kaki utat semu ikan nana kena kau paski sinan. Hai niks mata otas tapi semik kaki ni kat semu ikanak. Hai is pumokin nana, hai kimma tumokin nana kis sepata pio paki. Hai kita kuka po tumok pinan. Hai nika kita istamatchok pinan ika katsmo iskanak. Hai is pumok, hai kimmokin nana. Hai is pumokin nana kita kuka iskatu pinan kitsin iskasim. Hai nika sipsta pik saki nog pok nog siskak. Hai nika kita mas sapoya kinika kuhtu tuhpia. Aki tamas kitu tuja kini kuuajo. Hän ja pamoksia ki matsvaipuma bia kekukutista piitsimiä kinniks kaak maatautista piitsimiks kaakini kaatsemuiskaanik. Hän jokin mokinnaan. Hän jokin maatamokinnaan aakispun mokinnaan. Hän jokin mokinnaan. Hän jokin nuhkain ihkatsimat pinnaan aakin äikisti kun saaki. Hän nakaaku muu tääksemistä tuusinnaan. Hai ni kaakin sitä puakah pinnaan. Hai ni kun kutsi tautuksissa katuu paakin ni missä me päätä piissiniäkin. Hai na kiitaa mukanaistua tässä nuku seksaakin ni pitää nakpuksaa piima. Hai ni kun kumu tuo katuu sinaa ni kumu kumu sukujik. Hai jokin mokinnaan. Hai jokin maatu mokinnaan. Ispun mokinnaan. Hai jokin nuhkain ihkat sumatan yksi.
O my God, unite the hearts of thy servants and reveal to them thy great purpose. May they follow thy commandments and abide in thy law. Help them, O God, in their endeavor, and grant them strength to serve thee. O God, leave them not to themselves, but guide their steps by the light of knowledge, and cheer their hearts by thy love. Verily, thou art their helper and their Lord.
Light and glory, greeting and praise upon the hands of his cause, through whom the light of long-suffering had shone forth, and the declaration of authority is proven of God, the powerful, the almighty, the independent, and through whom the sea of bestowal had moved, and the breeze of the favor of God, the Lord of mankind, have wafted. We beg of him, exalted is he, to protect them through his hosts, and to guard them by his dominion, and to assist them by his power, which hath conquered all things. The dominion belongs to God, the maker of heaven, and the King of the kingdoms of names.
The occasion for this meeting is to hear from our beloved hand of the cause, Amatu'l-Bahá, Rúhíyyih Khánum. Many have traveled long hours to attend this meeting and traveled many miles. We wanted to recognize some of those people. Would the friends that have come from the Yukon, from Alaska, please stand. Thank you. And those from the United States? We also have present representatives of many ethnic groups. Could we have the friends from the native Indian background stand, please? A very special welcome. We're so happy you could come. And we also have, I think, some Eskimo people here, Inuit. Would they stand, please? And could I have the Sikhs stand, please? There's at least one Sikh family and several other Sikhs present. Could they stand so we can give them a welcome? As well, on this occasion, our native Indian believers would like the honor of extending a very special welcome to our honored and distinguished guest. I would like now to call on Dorothy Francis to give that welcome.
Beloved hands of the cause, Rúhíyyih, and my dear friends, I feel greatly honored to have been asked to welcome our beloved hand of the cause. The native people of this continent owe a debt of gratitude, for it was through your support by approving of the idea that we have an Indigenous Council. The Continental Indigenous Council came into being, and from the conferences, a lot of spiritual energy was released to all parts of North America. On behalf of my people who love you, may I welcome you to this conference. You'll excuse me if I read a little bit of my notes, because it's not so good sometimes, but we really are happy and so honored that she insisted that we give her the front row seats, and we asked if we could ask the friends to sit in front so they would not miss anything. And we have some other things some other parts of our program, which is for you. We're going to give you another song or two, and I hope you will appreciate them like we appreciate giving them to you. And I think I will call on my granddaughter, Terry McIntyre, to come forward. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, she's coming with Martha, many gray horses. And they are going to do some little thing for her.
Oh, what an honor. I'm so honored to be able to present this token of love and esteem to you on behalf of the native Bahás.
Martha, Many Gray Horses, is also going to say something. She knows her Indian name, and she's going to repeat it and reveal to the friends here what it means. Her Indian name, and Martha knows it's Rúhíyyih's Indian name that it was given some years ago. You want that?
My dearly beloved Baha'i families, what a great pleasure to be standing here before the Most Blessed Mother. That is the name that was given to her when she came to see a tribe that belongs to my Blackfoot Confederacy, the Pagans from southern Alberta. Her Indian name in Blackfoot is Amatu'l-Bahá, which means the Blessed Mother. That is the most precious, the most virtuous name that could be given to a woman. All our Blackfoot prophecies are all related to the virtuous qualities. Many of our cultures and values that are so highly respected and appreciated surround the virtuous qualities of an individual. Amatu'l-Bahá is a name that is rarely ever given to an individual. So I'm really happy that our Blessed Mother is here to share her love with us. Thank you.
They're going to sing an honor song for her.
With any gift that is given, there is always a sacred song that's been created and given to us to send with that gift. And so it was many thousands of years ago when the white buffalo calf woman came to the Dakota people. She brought to us our sacred religion and told us at the time of difficulty, the Creator would send us again that which will unite and bring all peoples together and bring us from our suffering. And we know that blessed Baha'u'llah has come to do that. So on behalf of the indigenous, our native people of this Western Hemisphere, especially remembering those in Central and South America, our beloved Melitone, Gallardo, and Andres Hachacoyo, we'd like to sing one of those 4 songs that was brought by the white buffalo calf woman. And this song says, Wayankie, and it calls upon all the powers and beloved Holy Spirit of this universe to behold us, who we are within us. Behold us, our spirits. Chanupa kile wakayelo. The pipe is sacred, but all living things, the mineral, plant, animal, and all humanity is sacred. So we sing this sacred song with you and call upon those powers of the universe to behold us, and the love generated by here and by this beloved mother will change again in a greater degree all the hearts of all living things in this universe. Ask my brother, my sister here, my wife, to join us.
Dearest friends, Amatu'l-Bahá, Rúhíyyih Khánum, has many connections with Canada. Although born in the United States, she lived for many years in Montreal. And she comes from a very distinguished Baha'i family. Her mother, May Maxwell, was considered the mother of the Canadian Baha'i community, the spiritual mother of the Canadian Baha'i community. Her father, William Sutherland Maxwell, was appointed to the first contingent of the Hands of the Cause. At his passing, a cable was received from the Guardian, which stated that the mantle of the Hand of the Cause now falls upon the shoulders of his distinguished daughter, who has already rendered and is still rendering meritorious, self-sacrificing service at the World Center of the Faith. In 1937, she was chosen to be the wife of the Guardian, Shoghi Effendi. She has been able to give a very unique and very precious gift to the Baha'i world. She has helped us to understand the Guardian and the guardianship. We are in the presence today of someone of a very unique station. Shoghi Effendi, in one of his statements, referred to her as my helpmate, my shield, my tireless collaborator. What greater honor could there be? Her record of service at the World Center has been complemented by equally distinguished service as an international travel teacher. In the course of her arduous journeys to many parts of the world, she has met with heads of state and has lived and taught among the Aboriginal peoples of the world with equal ease. She has taught the cause of God with great adaptability and wisdom. She can be indeed an example to us all. Please join me in welcoming Hand of the Cause, Amatu'l-Bahá, Rúhíyyih Khánum.
Friends, I notice that there are a lot of people standing, and as I'm going to talk a long time, they're going to get very tired. And I wondered if they could take some of these empty seats. Can anybody get the echo out of this thing? There are some seats, I think, that are vacant, and it would be nice if some of the friends would come and sit down. I have heard, I don't know whether it's true or not, that it's more tiring for women to stand than for men to stand. And these young men can sit on the floor. And there are about 4 chairs up here. Is this thing working better now? Can you hear me in the back? You can't. Well, I don't know what's going to be done about it. They can't hear me in the back. What? Try this fellow. All right. How is that? Is that a better thing? Can you hear me with this one? Yes?
All right.
Friends, I'm very deeply moved by the reception that I have had here. And it's a long time since I was in Vancouver. It's 10 years that I attended it. No, it isn't. I came here to the youth conference, come to think of it. But the first time was in 1960, which was 20 years ago. The second time was in 1970, I think. And it's lovely to be back here and to be able to see so many of the Baha'is and to be received so warmly by the indigenous Baha'is. I was very touched that my Indian name was recalled to me, the Blackfoot name that I was given so long ago in 1960. It has an interesting association. I went out to this Blackfoot reservation and was very warmly received by some of the Baha'is, and I think that there were 9 chiefs present that day. A lot of them in any case, but a very small meeting. And I looked at these friends, and I was very, very tired. I'd been on a very, very tiring lecture trip, and I didn't know what to say. I felt very shy, and I thought, what am I going to tell them? So then I asked some of them their names. And one of them said that his name was Crow Eagle, which I thought was a very fascinating name. And I asked him how he got the name Crow Eagle. And as I remember, he said that on one side, one grandparent before he was born had dreamed of a crow, and another had dreamed of an eagle. And as the Indians believe very deeply in dreams, they had called the child Crow Eagle. And then I told them something that might interest all of you. I said, you know, really, it is as a result of a dream that I am here with you today. Because before the beloved guardian chose me to be his wife, before he had decided, he had a dream. And in that dream, he was on a boat that was going to America, and the captain of that boat was Amatu'l-Bahá. And when he arrived in America, he got on a train, and the train went on for some time, and then it stopped, and he looked up, and the name of the station was Montreal. And so he felt that this had a direct connection with his decision to marry me. And I told this to these Indian friends. And then we had a very, very happy and lovely meeting together. And they gave me this beautiful name of Amatu'l-Bahá, which I have treasured very, very much. And since then, I've had other things added to it. The son of Sitting Bull, the great Sioux chief, is a Baha'i in the Seattle area, and some years ago he wrote me and he said, I want to adopt you into our tribe, and I'm going to give you the name of my great aunt, the daughter of Sitting Bull, and her name was Princess Prettyfeather. I've forgotten the exact pronunciation of the Sioux word. So I received another great honor and was very, very happy about it. And then later I went to Alaska, and I was made a full member of the Tlingit tribe, which was another very great honor. And I'm very proud of these associations with the Indian people. It's strange that in all the years that I traveled through Africa, nobody adopted me. When I got back to my own continent, thank God, I was adopted 2 or 3 times to my great joy. I'd like to tell you, because there are some Eskimo Baha'is here, a story about Alaska. I arrived in Anchorage in 1975, and of course there was a large Baha'i gathering. And after the meeting was over, a number of children came around me, and they were Eskimo children, and I'd never seen an Eskimo before I went to Alaska, and all my life I'd wanted to go to the northern regions of Canada and see the Eskimos. And this was the first group of Eskimos I'd ever seen, were the Baha'is at this meeting in Anchorage. So this little Eskimo child came over, and he held up his prayer book. And he said, will you sign my prayer book? And I don't ever give autographs. I think I'm pretty well known for that fact. So this little boy held up his prayer book, and I was so overcome that here is a live Eskimo in front of me that I signed it. And then a lot of other little children came around and held out things to be signed. And the next one, I said, how old are you? And he said, I think I'm 8. Well, I said, nothing over 4, because the other little boy was 4 years old. So I thought I'd be pretty safe with that. If I said nothing over 4, well, I wouldn't have to sign anything else. The next night, we had another meeting. And a little Eskimo girl came towing her little, I think it was a sister, about 2 years old, by the hand, with a postcard. And she said, Rúhíyyih Khánum, she's 2. Of course, that settled it. I signed immediately without any complaints whatsoever. I'd said nothing over 4, but this was 2. And I had a lovely time in Alaska. I went to Point Barrow, and I ate this very interesting thing. What was it? Muklu? And different Eskimo dishes, which I enjoyed very much. And I wish that I could spend some time someday touring that part of the world. I'd like very, very much to go to the north and visit more of the Indian Baha'is and more of the Eskimo Baha'is. I had planned tonight to say something to the indigenous believers, and it gives me this very warm welcome, opens the door to it, so to speak. I think that they have a great deal, obviously, to give to other people. We know that the Master in the tablets of the Divine Plan said that if the indigenous people of this continent accepted Baha'u'llah, then they could affect the whole of the human race. They could affect the world itself through their faith, that they would be like the original inhabitants of Arabia who accepted Muhammad and to a great extent changed the world for many, many centuries. But it is dependent on their accepting Baha'u'llah. It is not something that goes for free, so to speak. It has a price. And the price is that they should recognize the manifestation of God for this day and accept Him. I think that when they do that, and I mean so much more than just those who are present or those who are already enrolled as Baha'is, they will release tremendous forces, not only in this continent but throughout the world. You know, I know the Indian people very well now. I've been so many times to South America. I've been so many times to the Bolivian Indians in the Andes and the Indians in Chile and the Indians in Panama and so on. Now I'm going on a long trip through Central America, and I shall meet many, many more Indian people and Indian tribes. And the more I see of them, the more I admire them and recognize their very great qualities. I think that one of the greatest qualities that the Indians have is this very deep spiritual perception. And I think that that is something that people are searching for today. There's too much, you might say, raw intellectualism. There's a difference between being educated and being gifted in your field, being a good doctor or a good lawyer or a good mechanic or a good school teacher, whatever your profession may be, and being purely intellectual without the least bit of spiritual illumination. And I think that this is one of the great gifts that the Indian and Eskimo people have to give to the white race, and now there's so many other races in Canada, the black race, the yellow race who are living here. They have this gift to give to us, a deep spiritual perception. This opening prayer, I suppose it was a prayer, naturally I couldn't follow the words, but I felt that it was a prayer, and it had a very beautiful effect on me. I felt as if I were standing in a grove of very tall, beautiful trees. And I could see the sky. And I could feel the rivers running in the wilderness. That's not just imagination. I'm the least imaginative person, especially when I'm nervous about giving a talk to a large audience that you ever met. And this is what I actually felt when he was praying. And I've had sometimes these experiences with people who are more perceptive of the reality of God and nature, if you like, than we are. You know, shortly you will be seeing, I hope, this film on the Baha'i pilgrimage. It will take you to the Holy Land, and you'll visit all those holy places that you've longed so much to see. And in the film, you will hear the quotation of Baha'u'llah when he said to Amatu'l-Bahá in the city of Akka, "The city is the home of the body, but the country is the home of the soul." That's a very, very strange statement, and it's a very profound statement. Now, I think that the Indians probably, and the Eskimos, and maybe other people in different parts of the world, understand much better what Baha'u'llah was talking about than we do in our culture, our civilization, if you like, because we no longer have the least contact with the country. It doesn't say anything to us, but it's the country that speaks to us of God. So that it seems to me there's an awful lot that we could receive from the indigenous inhabitants of the Americas if we would only make the effort to receive it, and if, frankly, they would make the effort to give it. Every turning point in our lives is a tremendous challenge and a tremendous opportunity. When a child is born, that's a great event. It's something entirely new. It's a great opportunity for the family. It's a turning point and a challenge in their lives. When a child comes of age, when a person marries, when a person dies, all of these great events in life are turning points. Anything that is a big event in our lives is a new opportunity and a new challenge. And I think that the Indian people, Eskimo people, I put them naturally as cousins, they are cousins, when they become Baha'is, they are given a very great opportunity and a very great challenge, because then they can begin with the deep innate wisdom of their people, with their spirituality, which is a very, very concrete thing, to help their own people in this country to work for unity instead of inharmony and disunity. Since coming to Canada, only through seeing the television every now and then, I have been very sad to see how every single force at work seems to be a force of division, a force of disintegration. The provinces are inharmonious. I'm not going into Canadian politics. First of all, I don't know anything about it. Second, it doesn't concern me. But that you cannot help but seeing that increasingly across this great country, which has such a wonderful destiny, and which has such a wonderful reputation in the world, and incidentally, Canadians, as you probably most of you know, are better received in the world today than Americans. It wasn't so 20, 25, 30 years ago, but it's true today. If you travel on a Canadian passport, you're better off than traveling on an American one. Anyway, the point is that here is this great nation with all of its immense possibilities disintegrating in inharmony. Well, all right, why shouldn't the original inhabitants of this country make an effort to help foster harmony and understanding and unity, be a catalyst, if you like, to bind people together instead of helping them to be separated? That surely is a good challenge to people who have found Baha'u'llah and accepted Baha'u'llah. It's a wonderful thing that you have him. Now, what are you going to do with him, you see? Do something concrete. Do something that will help your people. Do something that will be positive. I'm talking aside from your Baha'i attending the feasts and being on the assemblies and so on, coming to meetings like this. I mean, in your lives with your own people. Work against the disintegration of the bonds holding people together and work for the integration of people into this wonderful unity in diversity order that Baha'u'llah has come to create in the world. I think that's the great opportunity facing the Eskimos and the Indians, whether they're Canadians or Americans or Alaskans, isn't the point. The point is that they have a background. They have now met Baha'u'llah and accepted him. Therefore, they have a great opportunity. Therefore, they have a great challenge. Well, my advice is rise to it. You know, Baha'u'llah says, and this certainly applies to everybody, he says, seize your opportunity, for it comes but once. We're not given so many chances in the world. We're given every now and then a big chance. And if we fall down on it, we'll never get the same chance again. And we may never in our whole lives get as good a chance to do something big and important and noble and significant for us personally and significant for other people. So that I think that for all of us, this is a period of testing. This is a period of great opportunities.